Welcome everybody to Dueling Sorcerers. My name is Stacy Broadwell. I will be your host for today's show. And today we have Jonathan Kidder and we have Brian Fink. Both of you gentlemen work at Amazon, is that right?
That's right.
Yeah, that's the jam.
Now, not in the same department, in separate departments, correct?
No, that's right. I work in the warehouse. I think Jonathan works up in the Seattle location. Is that right, Jonathan?
I'm actually in Minneapolis, Minnesota. But I work remotely, and yeah.
Yeah, I'm not working in the warehouse. I'm based out of Atlanta, and I'm working remotely as well. I would say that a good portion of our recruiting team, over 50% of the 800 or so recruiters that we have in Amazon, work remotely, or that's what I've been led to believe. Tom Bolt, thank you so much for paying our salary. I want to thank
you, Tom.
Yes, thank you.
I'm prepared for some good zingers in the chat today. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a good show. But you do AWS, Brian. Is that right?
That's correct. So I'm with Amazon Web Services. Right now, I'm supporting our customer engineering team, which is focused on building custom applications specifically for Amazon customers, really across the globe, and our professional services organization, as well as our events marketing platform. So that's kind of where I am digging in and finding great talent. And yeah, Jonathan, what about you? What besides the hunt for the elusive SDE3?
SDE3s. No, for me, I'm ATS, so middle mile sort tech. We oversee all the shipment technologies of Amazon too. So Brian's team is just way sexier than mine. But we have fun.
To be sexy working at Amazon. That place is on fire right now.
Yeah.
Of all the things that happened in COVID, there's been some shining lights in industries that are just blowing up, and certainly the service industry and delivery and online e-commerce just is massive. So I don't want to take up too much of this time, but I do want to say that Brian, you and I met here in Los Angeles a couple years ago at Cornerstone On Demand at an HRTX conference. And we had just been talking, and we're oh, you should be on my show. And here we are 2 years later.
2 years.
2 years.
2 years.
And I had to beg Brian. I'm like, please do it with me, buddy. Let's do this together. Let's do it.
Certainly not from a lack of my asking.
No. It just, it's gonna be fun. I'm glad that we're finally doing this. I'm glad that Dean and Steve could take the week off to allow the new kids on the block to have some fun.
Oh.
And Jonathan, you have a website, right? What's your website?
My website's called wizardsourcer.com, and basically I blog about talent sourcing tools. I've been doing that for about 5.5, 6 years, and definitely check it out, wizardsourcer.com.
Okay, so I did check it out, and I just got pulled in on all your blog posts. Just the amount of content is so, and I'm not just trying to blow you up or whatever, but you have really great articles. I think it was you had email templates in there. I hope I'm not mixing it up with another.
No, that's right.
You're
I got
a
ton of resources.
Resources.
And with COVID, it's been such a great resource and thing for me to do at night. We're so bored in Minnesota, and it's been fun just to kind of talk about different talent sourcing tools. And for me, I blog probably once a week too. So I've got about 200 plus articles, and it's been really fun.
I've
When
been
is the
putting
book coming
your
out?
articles in our weekly newsletter. And then I've been going on your website and saving all of your, what do they call it when you save something on your web browser?
Bookmarks.
When
Yeah.
you bookmark it. Welcome to my world. I was bookmarking. I was like, you know what? I just need to bookmark your website and go there and just all the different resources. It's just for free. And so I just want to say thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Okay. Gentlemen, without further ado, we're going to be sourcing and showing that there's more than one way to source for talent. So what are we going to be working on today?
It's up to you, Brian.
So Stacy, actually, I'm going to go into, I'm going I'm gonna figure out how to do a screen share real quick with Zoom. I don't usually use Zoom. Let me, sourcing for engineering managers in Hyderabad, India. Actually, David, just to let you know, when it comes to looking for software engineers in India, one of the ways that I've been successful is by actually reaching out directly to the professors at the schools, because of such strong alumni networks, and having conversations with the professors about who I should be talking to, who I should be having a conversation with when I was doing any kind of international team building in India.
Yeah, in India, I would say it's such a large country too, so it really depends on where you're sourcing in India too. But there's a ton of different resources out there too, if you're just focused on that too. Yeah.
Yeah. So real quick, one of the things that I wanted to that Stacy had suggested. Okay, so my computer's not letting me share screen right now.
Oh no! Do you want me to share? I could share mine, and then it's up to you. I could just go on Google. Can you see my screen at all?
Yeah, I totally can. That's
Okay.
great. So one of the things that when I'm doing a search that maybe I haven't done before, that I often do, is I do natural language search. And so, Stacy, one of the things that I'd recommend for finding teachers, and Jonathan and I talked about this the other day when finding software developers, is I put in site:instagram.com. Instead of saying I am an engineer, I said I am a teacher.
Yeah.
And
there's a lot out there, about 5,000 results right away too. So a lot of people are hashtagging too, especially during COVID too. So I'm sure they're at home, they're talking about what they're doing in their day, but that's a really strong hashtag to kind of search for teachers as well.
yeah, so with that, we could, if we wanted to, we could put a geography with it, and we could say that we're looking for teachers in Minnesota. That's a great idea.
I always do Minneapolis. Yeah, not that much. Let's do maybe Atlanta. Maybe there's more. ATL. There's a few too. So it kind of really shrinks down your results that you're kind of looking for.
And we have not did this search before, so the David Grohl Instagram "wash your blanking hands" was not something that we expected to come up.
Goodness. So that's a really good one. Instagram. I would say checking out Facebook too. There's a lot of things that you can search, and people don't look for Facebook as much too. So for kind of a search you could do site:Facebook and just type in teacher Minneapolis posts. And
now, why did you do the minus posts? I'm just curious.
So I think that's just to remove any instead of just posts out there, just focusing on profiles. So Nancy, Robin, Chris, PJ Boy, that's out there too. So it does work still. But I think the reason why people have removed the posts is just maybe just focusing on the profiles themselves too. But and you could change up Minneapolis, you could do other locations. Let's see what we do when we remove post too as well. So 4 million hits right away. There's a lot out there.
You're getting all those groups and what have you. Yeah, that's probably not the best route to go. Jonathan, one of the things that it makes me think about when it says images for site, it says images.
Yeah.
Do you ever use face search with the misspelled searce?
Face search? No.
Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to type in face, F-A-C-E, search is going to be S-A-E-R-C-H.
Like that? Like spelled wrong?
And make it one word.
Okay.
Make it one word. Yep, totally spelled wrong.
Okay.
You're good.
Okay.
.com.
Wow, look at this.
Face search engine. Okay, so if we typed in something like Teacher Atlanta.
Yeah, let's do that right now. Teacher Atlanta, search. Okay. So does it pull like different posts? Does it pull profiles? What is it, and where does it pull from?
It pulls from newspapers. It pulls from Christian Science Monitor. It pulls from LinkedIn. It pulls from all those different sources. If we want to, we can actually, so I use this when I'm looking for, or when I'm maybe doing a search particularly for females in technology, is that
Wow.
I've used face search specifically to go in and say, or even when I'm helping somebody try to find nurses. But when I type in nurses, I always hit minus sexy. So not sexy. I do not want to bring back any pictures of nurses that are dressed up as sexy nurses. That is not what we're here to do.
Oh, wow. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
And then do you have to quote anything? Do operators modifiers work within this?
Yeah, modifiers do work on this, and a big shout out. Like I need to give it up to, we've got different hospital sites right there. We've got neonatal sites that are coming up. We've got people that have been. We've got some clip art, but a lot of this is actually not clip art. It's from those hospitals. It's from those different healthcare institutions. And if we jump into it, we can see who the photo might be of, and we can kind of dig into that. I got to shout out to Ronnie Bratcher, because Ronnie Bratcher is the one who introduced me to this tool, probably about like a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
And, I've used it primarily when working on some diversity searches, particularly looking for female developers or using women in tech, to be able to pull up those pictures of individuals that have been associated with different conferences or women who code, and being able to find, like I said, individuals that comport to those qualifications. I noticed that we've got some comments in the chat.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah. All right. So.
Hey, gentlemen, before we continue on, you know what? Real quick, Brian, I had the exact same issue with trying to share my screen. I dueled Mark Tortorici, and I was like, how hard can this be? And I couldn't figure out how to share my screen. And I felt awful. So, but if you go down to the bottom of your screen, see the green button says share screen?
Yeah. So my Mac won't give it permission to share.
Oh, it's
Oh, no.
It says I gotta jump out of Zoom and jump back in. You want me to jump out and jump back in?
Yeah,
sure.
Try
Okay.
it. Come back. We'll let Jonathan take lead for a bit and then come back.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I'll share my screen again too. And so for me, I actually created my own browser extension, and it can work for any different type of role that you're working on, as long as the person has a LinkedIn profile too. So I worked with a developer for about 2 to 3 months on this, and it's called Recruiter Wand, and it's a free extension that you can download within the browser store. Currently, we have about 548 users so far, and I can show you how it works too. So it's actually a pretty cool extension too. So let's say you're going on a profile too, and you want to send this person, why not me, a LinkedIn recruiter message, or an email, whatever way you want to kind of message them. Basically, you would download this browser extension too, and you would then click on Get LinkedIn Data, and it's going to scrape all the person's profile information too. So it's going to scrape the first name, the company, education, job title, location. And then I added about 25 different recruiter templates to kind of choose from. And these are all the ones that I use, mostly tech related roles, but you can fully customize any of these. So as an example, you could do this template, you can go in and you can change on the back end any of this and kind of click save. And also you can request availability. So let's say, hey, I'm open on the 29th. See how that changes right away in that kind of area. And then click copy template, and it's that easy too. And it just takes out all the headaches when you are kind of doing kind of a very similar kind of template. You're reaching out to the same sort of candidates over and over and over. It kind of makes sense to kind of do this and use this free template. So I could go to Brian Fink, and within 30 seconds, I'm on the profile. I would get the Recruiter Wand loaded, and then boom, right away, it changes everything too. And right away, then I would choose the template, and then boom, copied. So it's a pretty fun tool. It went from 0 downloads to around 450, so 500, and it's been really fun to kind of get feedback on that too. So it's been a really fun tool to kind of get out there. It's free to use. Within seconds, you can get someone's profile information pulled up pretty quickly. And yeah, it's great too. So Brian, I will throw it back to you now.
No, wait. I got questions about this.
You got some questions? Okay.
I got questions because I haven't used it. Is it like, so it's pulling in my name, but it's also pulling in the school that I went to? Can I build in a template and say, notice that you went to Georgia Tech? Like, I think of all the Java engineers that we're looking for and that they typically went to top 25 CS schools. And I'm just thinking about that as a way to increase the personalization and stand above the noise.
So exactly. So you put under skills too, and that's the education one. And you could change that. You could flip it around. You could, hey, blah, blah, blah. You can change any of this virtually too. You can customize it too. You can customize the dates. You can really add anything. You could also link your job link right here. You could do so much, and then basically you would just click save, and you could even rewrite, example, whatever else you want to do too. So it's virtually endless too. So, and that's a good point. I know focusing on schools or different companies, it's virtually kind of endless too. And people don't know, that you're sending them an automated message, but the way I've kind of customized it so much, they can't even really tell too. So I'm like, hey, I was really impressed by your experience here. I love your project there. I noticed you went to this school. It's a good time to kind of connect over the phone. And it's been phenomenal too.
Well, I just think about that because like Shally Steckrell, who, I'm a student of what Shally has to say and what he puts out there. But he has often said that you are required to, that you need to have 7 points of personalization in an email if you want to convince that person that it wasn't templated, that if you want to convince that person that you've genuinely done your homework or done some research on them. I know Jim Stroud is a little bit different. That Jim Stroud talks about the points of personalization, but he also provides a gift, like some kind of educational article in the email. And then you've got Batman, who Batman actually provides you with a GIF, a GIF, or a GIF, depending upon, relevant to the role and to get that person to laugh, because he believes that if you can get a person to laugh, you can get a person to buy into a conversation, which I think is highly pertinent for personalization. Jonathan, this is great work. Do you want to show real quick where they can find this in the Chrome store before we go on?
Oh, appreciate that. No, you would just search Recruiter Wand within the Chrome store extensions, and it should pop up too. And exactly, the more you can kind of focus on, customizing it and specializing your messages, with memes or videos or content, the better you'll be with kind of response rates too as well. So that's a really good tip too. But that would be the place to kind of download and kind of take a look at this. So, but I will stop sharing it and send it right back to you now.
All right, let's see if I can screen share. Oh boy.
Okay. Here we go. Brian's in.
Dun 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 dun. All right, so I am screen sharing and we are in Dueling Sorcerers. I am going to pull this down just a little bit so we can kind of jam on some things. Mr. Kidder showed off what is my favorite command, the site command. I often think that there are a multitude of different resources that you can really tap into, or websites that you can backdoor if you're using the site command. One of the new areas that I'm going to is I'm going site command buy me coffee. So actually, before I go there, is anybody familiar with the Buy Me Coffee website?
No.
I have never heard of that.
All right,
No.
so Buy Me a Coffee is a speed networking website, and what the idea is that you are going to get together with people for a virtual coffee. So what I've been doing is that I've been going to Buy Me a Coffee, buymeacoffee.com. And what I'm doing is I'm going to say that I'm looking for somebody who has a GitHub profile, and I'm just going to put it out there. I'm not going to do any fancy quotation marks to look for GitHub specifically, but I'm going to look for a designer or a developer or an engineer. And I've got 316 results of people who have their GitHub profile connected to their Buy Me Coffee website. And so what I can do is, let's just pick on Nico Andy. Nico Audi, yes, it's me, a software engineer, open source enthusiast. I love building things and I love coffee. Please note, I have not logged into the website at all. I have not become a member. I am not buying him a $3 cup of coffee to have a conversation. I'm not buying him a $5 cup of coffee. What I'm going to do though, is I'm going to go up and I am going to, I'm going to read his profile. I make open source. Oh, here's my work. Thanks, bro. I really appreciate it. You made it super simple for me to connect with you. I am now going to go out to your GitHub profile. And
nice.
He's in Indonesia. Chances are he knows really good coffee because really good coffee does come from Indonesia, but I wouldn't be hiring him unless I was looking for somebody for a global role that could be located in Indonesia. Alternatively, what I was going to do before I found that GitHub profile is I was going to actually click and search for, I was going to double click, or I'm sorry, left-hand click, right-hand click, sorry, I don't know the difference between my two hands, and search Google for this image to see if he has a profile that comes up anywhere else. There it is.
There you go.
But we've also got his Pinterest profile, his Buy Me Coffee. Let's do a little bit of pre-search and see what he's about. Okay, recipes to cook, but he's got a picture of running. Oh, it's going to make me log into Pinterest. I don't have a Pinterest page. That he's interested in soccer, and I know that from the All England Club right there, from the logo that's on the jersey jacket. Yeah, so that's one of those sites that, like Stacy, we're talking about, like looking at sites that people aren't looking at and getting this information. We can look at Pinterest. GitHub is one that people are going to routinely and regularly, but like Buy Me a Coffee, like, you know, show of hands, I don't know who all's in the chat right now, but like, had you thought about actually having a virtual cup of coffee with somebody? And this is a place that you can go to find people who are interested, educated, and qualified. I'm using that loosely, interested, educated, and qualified for the opportunity that you're searching on, who are there to give advice, right? Or to have a conversation around that. So that's a Jonathan, I can see you playing with it right there.
I am, yeah. And go back to GitHub too. I noticed you do have OctoHR too, and that little extension pops up, that little green extension. Does that load? I love that on GitHub too, because then you could see the tech stack of what the person is working on too. I don't know if that would pop up on the left side.
Yeah. So yeah. OctoHR, do I have it turned on? Yeah, I do.
You have it turned on. Yeah.
Okay, so I have it turned on, and what it does is it comes out with a free email address. That was free. This is a free extension in the Chrome store. It's nice. OctoHR. And what I like to talk to junior recruiters about is using OctoHR for personalization, is that they can come to, I often think that when you're talking to an engineer, you need to reach out and say, I came across your GitHub profile and I noticed your experience with PHP, JavaScript, and Dart. And those are the three things that are ranked as him having the most influence, or I should say having the most contributions on GitHub. So I like to think of it as a means to going and having a conversation with the candidate about what the candidate enjoys talking about. I actually can talk a little bit of PHP because, like, you know, I did WordPress and things of that nature. And so I know a little bit of PHP manipulation, just the same way that people know a little bit of coding because of MySpace and what you were able to do there back in the day. But you know, you talk about OctoHR. There are two other places that I like to go to. There's GetAwards. And GetAwards is a website where you can search for the GitHub user and find out like who they are and what they do. Or if you're looking in Minneapolis, which I know that's where you start your search, Minneapolis, and you're looking for people who know JavaScript, it ranks according to the amount of stars that they've accumulated, who quote unquote is the best in the marketplace, right? So
that first profile too, he actually works, he's an SDM at Amazon in our office, Kevin. Yeah. So that's funny how it pops up right away.
Yeah, well, so actually, you know, the other thing that I found using this is that if I type in something like San Francisco, Um, it lets me know which companies have contributed the most to open source coding standards, right? For JavaScript. So like, I know that Airbnb is a big JavaScript shop. So even if somebody doesn't put JavaScript as one of their languages on LinkedIn, or for some reason I can't find their real GitHub profile, I can always make an educated guess or an assumption. I can also go into Airbnb and I can see who the contributors are, where they stack, if you will.
Yep. And there's another really amazing website too that does that, stackshare.io.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've heard of that one too, but that site, you can search the tech stack of any company too. So you could go right to kind of browsing the tech stacks, and you can see a lot: Pinterest, Uber, Airbnb, so Facebook, Google. There's a lot out there. So browse stacks right there. Click that little buttons, and it just gives you so much information too. So if you are focusing on like, I need to find someone who has got extensive Go or just any sort of JavaScript framework, where to kind of look too. And it also gives you their locations too as well. So
brother, I like this, and I like this for a different reason. Is that do you like, so like I'm trying to pull, so in Seattle, I'm trying to pull people out of startups because they've got their battle scars, they've been tested, they really are that that SD3 candidate, right? They comport with all of our leadership principles. They've got the technical know-how. So what I'm doing is I'm taking Crunchbase, which is a paid website, but of course, if you use the site command, you can backdoor the hell out of that, right?
That's right. You can go right to the profiles.
Yeah. So
yeah.
So,
share an example here.
Yeah. So if I go to
Please share an
Crunchbase,
example of Crunchbase. I've been dying to have somebody use Crunchbase. Thank you.
Stacey's in here.
all right. So I'm going to go Crunchbase, and I'm going to type in Seattle, and I'm going to type in startup. Wait, actually, I can't remember if it's startups or startups. So I'm going to
try both. Yeah.
Yeah. Startups or startups. Okay, list of top Seattle startups. And real quick, I'm doing all this on my personal Mac so that the links won't be there immediately when I go to but a list of top greater Seattle startups. So we've got seed stage. These are, Stacey, this is all the stuff they want you to pay $39 a month for.
Yeah, they have great lists on there, and some of them are locked down under their membership fees. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a great list right here. There we go. There's your list. $39, all of it saved today, right?
Yeah, look at that. That's
Amazing.
nice.
That is so nice.
Yeah, so the reason I'm using it is because, like, I mean, Jonathan, you recruit in Seattle, and you know that, like, there are lots of people in Seattle who either have interviewed with AWS or with Amazon, or they have been reached out to 40,000 times by all of our recruiters, right? Note to self: lots of reach out in Seattle. Just putting it out there. There's a lot of activity in Seattle. You know, Facebook just bought that new building in Seattle. They bought the REI headquarters, so there's going to be even tougher competition in Seattle. I'm just drowning in tears today, right? So that's that. So that's how you backdoor Crunchbase. It's really not that difficult. We just did a site command.
Nice. And can I share my screen too? I've got another tool that's similar to this.
Yeah, knock it out.
So
Owler.
I love that tool where it kind of tells you just the company information. There's another one that's free, Quickly. I'm sure Brian's heard of this one too. Quickly is an extension, but basically it just pulls up on someone's profile page. And it should work. See, either it's going to say see others, so see others within the team, or see all the company info. It's a quick thing. It's kind of cool to kind of see, like, here's a number of employees on, for this company, and here's what they're about too as well. And I know this one's a little bit different, so I could go to one that's more North American based, but as an example too. But whatever else, Java developer.
Hey, we've got a question in the chat. Quickly, it's quick.ly. Is the Chrome extension you're talking about, right?
Yep, exactly. Quickly, but it's pretty nice too, because it just tells you quick information quickly. See others. You can see others within a team. It should pop up. It's freezing, but it would pop up right here to tell you who's on the team, and then company info too as well. So number of employees, what they're working on. It's pretty helpful if you are looking kind of within the startup area too. That's a pretty great area to kind of find and kind of do more research too. So I just wanted to throw that in there too as well with Crunchbase too as well.
Yeah. Going back, one other one we've talked about GetAwards. But have we talked about not GetAwards, but have we talked about AWS Hall of Fame?
No.
Okay, AWS HOF.
HOF.
All right, let it rip.
Let it rip here. Here we go. Okay, enter okay. The official list.
Yeah, so this is a list of people who have gotten different AWS certifications around the world. So you're not necessarily spinning your wheels inside of LinkedIn, even though it does have a link to a LinkedIn profile. So Jonathan, I just bring this up because sometimes we do have managers who are like, yo, by the way, I need for them to have some AWS certs in their background. It gives us an opportunity to really kind of dig in and to find those individuals really quickly.
And this is great too. It tells you just the full name, their license, the company they work for, a location, and it gives you a link to their LinkedIn account right there too. So that is very useful too. And then you could probably search just clicking on certain ones. I'm sure it would just pop up, or maybe you would have to search just United States that kind of pop up too. So nice, wow. And it's a lot of information too. So it goes around 23 different pages for candidate information too. So wow, and it sends you right to the person's LinkedIn too. Oh, maybe not that one. But no, that's a good tip.
Yeah, so I like, everybody, I think that everybody, there's been this massive gamification of skills and what have you. And I think LinkedIn failed at it to gamify it or to make it click relevant. And that's why I rely on places like GetAwards or I forgot OctoHunt, OCTO.
OctoHunt, that's right.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, OctoHunt. Yeah, that's another one too.
If you can use Indeed, you can use OctoHunt.
Okay. Pretty simple. Right. Yeah, the rep scores. I'm sure that's pretty simple.
But what's important is you just passed a red briefcase for Pixit.
Yeah.
That red briefcase lets you know that person's available for hire.
Nice. I love this too. Oh yeah, Chuck. I know Chuck. Nice. Another really awesome website is Hacker News. And
love Hacker News.
They have a page on their kind of forum groups that says who wants to be hired, and they do it every single month. So you could, just type in Hacker News, who wants to be hired, and it gives you all the different ones, but you could just do the latest, October. And what it does, it just gives you their location, if they're open to remote, willing to relocate, technologies, tech stacks they're using, a link to their resume portfolio, and then email too. So it gives you all this information too. So it's pretty phenomenal. The GitHub profiles, LinkedIn.
I got something. Now that you riffed on that one. Oh, man. Let's go. All right.
I'll stop sharing, but yeah, no, this one's a good one. It gives you a lot of information. Who wants to be hired? You can do month by month, and you could scrape this information. You could do so much. You could pull all the LinkedIn profiles. You could pull all the emails.
So David Moore has a question. It's not Hacker News. It's actually news.ycombinator.com.
Yep, exactly.
But it is known as Hacker News because that's what the development community calls it.
Yep, And it's been around for, I mean, you can look back, look how many there are, just months and months and months. And mostly it's more tech related developers that are actively looking too. So front end, full stack, back end, mobile would be kind of the people that probably put this information out there too as well. So Illinois, they're looking, and so forth too as well. So yeah, it's a good one. Definitely check it out. You could X-ray it too. I blogged about it too. So check out wizardsourcer.com, Hacker News, and you'll see kind of different Boolean string examples if you need more examples too. So I will shoot it back to Brian.
All right. So real quick, I'm going to, it wouldn't be a Fink presentation if there wasn't some mention of Slack. So I discovered this the other day on slowfile.com. So Slowfile is kind of like a search engine for Slack communities. Shout out to my counterpart Margot, because we were having a conversation about how you find different Slack communities, and we discovered this one here that is Lewis C. Lynn's interview community. Wow. And it has 19,000 people that are actively interviewing for jobs, right? So if we go into, if we sign into Slack, oh, and this is a free group to join.
Okay.
I'm sure I'm going to get some questions on this, so I'm ready for that. But here's where we're at, is that you go to the almighty search bar, and if you want to find out people that are looking for engineering roles, I just type in engineer request practice engineering manager, engineering engineers. I'm going to select engineering, and it comes back with 11 messages. We've got Andrew, who's currently interviewing for Apple's Siri product manager role. We've got somebody who is trying to hire for, we've got Maduri, who is currently interviewing for this role as well.
Yeah. This reminds me of Backdoor Slushy.
Backdoor
Slushy, is that the right name?
Yeah, go for it. I'm going to stop sharing. You take the wheel.
It's the same concept too, where it's a community of people where they get together, they kind of talk about interviews, what they're facing. Is it Backdoor Slushy? Backdoor. I'm like blanking here. What is that the right?
I'm looking right now in my bookmarks.
Yeah, what is an
Rooftop Slushy?
Rooftop Slushy. Oh my gosh. Roof Slushy. Perfect. Yeah, it's the same kind of thing where it's share my screen here, where it's a community too. So you can do resume review, career advice, and there's just so many communities too, where people are kind of posting and looking for different recommendations too as well. And you could X-ray this too, but there's just a lot of information here too, and it's pretty substantial too. So yeah, I would say it's very similar. There's another one which I can't bring to the top of my head too as well, but yeah, it's pretty interesting. They're looking for referrals. That's a new thing too. People are paying for referrals now, so I don't know how ethical that is, but
I don't.
That's a new thing.
For recruiters, I don't think it's that ethical. And also, I would say that if I'm talking to any of my brethren that are from the cloth of the agency, I don't understand why you would introduce somebody for $20 into a firm when you could make $15,000 on them. Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
Exactly, too. So that's something to kind of think about as well. So yeah, that's another good one. Let's say you're focused on diversity. There's so many other groups like this. Diversify Tech is one that always comes to mind too. That's a great one. Diversify, if I can't spell, Diversify Tech, and it's a great community too. So people can post jobs, post resources, but people, if you're looking for job hunting, right here. Where is it? Where people can say, where am I looking? I'm looking for for where people post that they're open to new opportunities too. So there's a lot you can kind of see within these groups. But basically, it's a great way to kind of look. Where am I?
So real quick, I just want to remind people that when you're on Diversify Tech, that some of the groups it links you to, it'll link you to different Slack channels that you can join if you're an ally. It's actually how I came across the Tech Taqueria, which is for Latinx in technology professionals. They grow out of Washington, D.C. You can also, and I also use this to be able to find Blacks in engineering, so that I was able to find different groups on why can't I think of meetup.com. Meetup.com is another place that you can go to be able to find individuals when you're looking for diversity candidates.
Exactly, too. And under hired, under Diversify Tech, it links you to a page where it gives you all their information, to a summary of the candidates and links to their portfolio, their LinkedIn, and you can search for software engineering, design, front end, DevOps. There's so much. People operations, so there's so many links to different people. So looking for QAs, this one's looking for a web developer type of role. If you are looking for diverse leads, it's a great resource. They also have kind of a weekly newsletter too, so anytime it gets updated, you get kind of a weekly list of the most active people on there too. So yeah, it's awesome how you can get their information, their Twitter, their GitHub, and reach out to them through that platform too as well. So, and another one too I've been using is called a Justice Map, and this pulls information from pretty much our government. And if you're looking for a BNL candidates, diverse candidates, it kind of paints a picture too as well. So it tells you where diverse leads would be located within a map too. So you can see kind of red would be more African American. White is purple, and Asian's green, Hispanic is kind of blue. So it paints a picture too of where to kind of search if you are looking for building out kind of a sourcing diversity strategy too as well. So it's a pretty cool map. So I've used it, to search for diverse tech across North America too as well. And again, it's justicemap.org.
And it's a free tool. It's a free tool, right?
Yep, it's a free tool too as well.
And everything we've talked about today, with the exception of Crunchbase, which Stacy is not going to pay for anymore, it was a free tool.
Yep.
Okay. I just want to keep it on the freezy. That's my second favorite word that begins with an F. Fink is my favorite word that begins with an F.
It's perfect.
Okay, I think there was a couple questions in the Q&A if you guys want to take a look. We got about we got a little over 15 minutes left in the show. I was listening to this podcast the other day with Annie, who heads up talent. She was headed up talent intelligence globally for Amazon. And she mentioned this term battle cards. And I was curious if you are familiar with this term, and if it's something that you guys use internally. No. Okay.
No, I've heard of Wrecking Ball, but that was from Miley Cyrus. who Stacy, before everybody joined, we were talking about music, and sometimes it takes a really good sorcerer to come in like a wrecking ball and break your world apart.
Let's hear that song. Come on, Brian.
I came in like a wrecking ball. I don't know the rest of the words.
I'm seeing you on the wrecking ball going back and forth. All right, why can't you get my video to turn back on? Okay.
Your video's on.
It's on. Yep.
Oh, you can see me? Oh, okay, good. All right, I can't see myself for some reason. Okay, so here was the idea with the battle cards, that it was competitive intelligence that Amazon was tracking, and that they had their own player card that it was for Amazon, their core competitions like the
wish I saw this. Wish I could see this.
that you had one battle card for every one of your competitors, Facebook, whoever was hiring the same engineering talent as you, and you had who they were hiring, what the skill sets were, pretty much all the stuff that we were going through today, but kept in one place. And then if it would also look for signals, external signals, that maybe they had a new patent out, they were hiring new researchers, they had new words or skill sets within those battle cards, or like within the job post for Facebook, and it alerted you to them doing something new. You guys track anything like that?
So I have Google Alerts set up. So like I like to follow the FANG companies. And so Stacy, what you just described is like how I use a Google Alert to set up, like if there's somebody who gets a patent in one of the areas that I'm looking for at Amazon or at AWS, then I'm notified of that, so I can reach out to them and send them a congratulations text snippet. I don't know if anybody, Jonathan, are you using Text Expander at all?
I don't, but actually Recruiter One is very similar to Text Expander too, I think.
Okay, all right. So I'm using Text Expander where like I type in exclamation point LinkedIn message, and it automatically sends out a message to LinkedIn that says, thanks for reaching out to me. I'm really busy today. I really wish we could make some time to talk. Are you available tomorrow? If so, what time? Right. Yep. So it does that for me. But like going back to this battle card thing, like I really wish that there was a tool that had that kind of creative power inside of Amazon and AWS, and that it was distributed for people to use. But call me a student of Jung Kim. I'm crazy about those Google alerts. I love to get alerted by Google. I like to get an email like at lunchtime that says, by the way, Brian, get your shit together. This is what's going on with these startups that you're following. It usually comes to me about like 12:30 every day. Yeah.
There's also an extension called Page Monitor, and it does the same kind of thing. If you have a page and you want to monitor it for updates or anything like that, it gives you kind of a notification in your browser too. So Page Monitor is very similar to Google Alerts, but you can use it on profiles on GitHub or on websites. If there's any updates, it just tells you, which is kind of nice. And then through LinkedIn Recruiter, I love to kind of star profiles. So anytime there's an update, I know it's kind of a simple thing that I'm sure people are aware of, but I love getting that little star and tracking maybe leads that I'm like, oh, it would be great if they updated something within LinkedIn. And when they do, I get a little notification too, and then I try to reach out to them. So, maybe they're more active and more open to taking kind of a message on LinkedIn once they're updating it too. So.
Yeah, Jonathan, actually, it's kind of funny, but like the more conversations I have with people about LinkedIn, and I'm not here to bash LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a great tool. LinkedIn it's a great tool.
Here we go.
like, dude, a third of my hires came from LinkedIn so far. So
right.
What am I supposed to say? Like, it's like, I hate my wife and she makes me dinner every day. Like, and Allie, if you're listening,
oh man,
everybody knows that you don't make me dinner, that I'm the cook in the house. So whatever, that was just me being playful. But the reality of it is that, I don't think LinkedIn does enough to educate people on what the differences are between like LinkedIn Recruiter Lite and LinkedIn Recruiter, and what the specialization is and what those tools are. That they just kind of, they don't do it in webinars. Like I sign up for like the product release webinars that LinkedIn has, because I want to know what's coming next and how I can build upon it or put it into my stack. And it's just, Jonathan, I think that's actually pretty important that you mentioned that. Like, I also don't think that there are a lot of people who realize that the clipboard functionality is something that either has gone away or is going away for them. And, I use that for speed sourcing on the site when I'm doing system sourcing out of Beamery. Okay, real quick. I'm noticing some questions here. I apologize.
Okay, we got some questions. So I noticed you also have Evernote. Do you use that browser extension too as well to kind of track notes and stuff?
Okay, so the answer to that is I use Evernote I do use Evernote to track notes. So if I'm typing in, say, let me screen share. If I'm gonna, if I type in Java I hit Java in the search bar in Google, it simultaneously goes through my Evernote and finds all the notes that mention Java. So if I type in Java Engineer Atlanta, it goes through and it pulls up Dave, currently staff software engineer. Josh has spent the past 5 years working with and building with. And as you can see, these notes go all the way back to like 2016. So I can pull them up. I can have a richness there. If you do I use the clipper because like I'm keeping my notes there so that I can go back and reference candidates. But also one of the things that exists in Evernote Clipper that a lot of people don't know about, and this is why I say that if you want the poor man's ATS, if we go to LinkedIn.
The poor man's ATS, I love that.
No. Evernote is the poor man's ATS because for $69 a year, you can collate and you can create with templates a CRM and an ATS inside of it. I'm going to go to Gary Vaynerchuk's profile real quick. Everybody, if you don't know who Gary Vaynerchuk is, you should know who Gary Vaynerchuk is. He's a huge source of inspiration for millions of people that are small business owners about how to get their message across. Actually, I look at Gary and I say that Gary's message in many ways, his increased positivity has made me want to be a better person. But if I clip Evernote, I get where I can save LinkedIn, and it will save the LinkedIn profile and scrape it and put it into my Evernote so I can search it and I can tag it. So if I wanted to add a tag, and the tag I'm going to add for this one is I'm going to add dueling sourcers, so that if it comes up, save clip. If it comes up later in a search when I'm looking for a Gary Vaynerchuk book, it'll let me know, oh, Brian, you tagged it because you and Jonathan and Stacy went through Gary Vaynerchuk, right? Wow. But like from a poor man's ATS perspective, give me 1 second, I'll launch Evernote, is that you've got, I've got the search bar right here. I could just go in and type in Java engineers, and it brought me back 231 engineers, that all have Java, and it's still synchronizing. Poor man's ATS, it costs you can do the free version, which is 2 gigs a month, or you can do the paid version, which is unlimited storage for $69 a year.
Wow.
You still actively add to that in your process, in your everyday workflow?
Yeah.
Because I consider my Outlook that I've been using for over a decade my poor woman's ATS, right? And it's all like, based off of the skill set, like, PHP, Java, Python, because I've always been doing software engineering searches. And so I'm just like, well, that's, my gold right there. And in particular, because even if you're reaching out to people, it's only those who've responded to you and sent you and you've actually engaged with that are actually going to be in your emails. But I always thought, it'd be nice if I could have other conversations that I could pull in, like from LinkedIn or social, like Facebook. Does it track any of that too?
Oh, dude, that's okay. So it won't track the Facebook conversation. But real quick, you can use Evernote inside of Outlook, and you can save those emails to those candidates and tie it to their profiles. So that's a good question, Stacy. I'm glad you raised that.
I love that.
Okay, so you can do that, or you can use OneNote, but I feel like OneNote, there's something clunky about OneNote. I've been using Evernote for a good 7 years. Yeah, okay, no thanks. I don't need you to do that. Anyhow,
OneNote, the Microsoft add-on that's in Outlook, OneNote.
Yeah, yeah. And you can add this to your Outlook as well, whether you're a PC or a Mac. I'm a PC at work. I'm a Mac at play. So just to let you know, it kind of works seamlessly that way. Also, one of the other things that you can do with Evernote, let me bring this back up, is you made the comment about cross-referencing search. So there's this feature down here at the bottom called context, and if you're paying for LinkedIn, for Evernote, What it does is it cross-references between different notes that you have automatically. It also cross-references the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, Fast Company, and a few other magazines to bring up that information for you.
Wow, that's really cool.
Wow.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So
I remember when you and I first met, I think I remember you mentioning Evernote. So I'm glad you brought it up, Jonathan. And it's good to hear that 2 years later you're still using it, right?
Oh, I mean, like, here's the thing is that, I'm still using it. I often encourage people to take 3 months and to spend 3 months incorporating a new tool into their workflow. I think Jonathan knows about this. Stacy, I think you probably heckled me or joked with me about it when I got kicked off of LinkedIn for 90 days.
Oh, I didn't know about that. Wasn't me.
Okay. All right. No, it's all good. It's all good. So basically LinkedIn was kind of like, my third rail. It was where I went to find great candidates, and it was responsible for probably about a quarter of my hires at RentPath. So I had to make up for that somehow. So I became really good at sourcing people over Facebook. And I spent 3 months on Facebook, and I really think that you should spend 3 months at a time investing in a new tool and cutting yourself off from one part of your workflow. Evernote is that one part of my workflow, though, that I can't take my advice about, and I can't cut it out.
That's really, you know what? I also have heard for people who have ADD and ADHD that Evernote is a really great tool to use. We only have a few more minutes in the show, and just, I think that was a really good comment you had earlier about the different products that LinkedIn has, because they have the Lite and the Recruiter Seat, and they also have Sales Navigator. And I've been using Sales Navigator. That basically built the TechRecruit conference. I mean, we did all our engagement through Sales Navigator, and I was just like, this is, I'm basically recruiting speakers and people who will come to the conference, sourcers and recruiters. So it just seemed like just as good, and it was a lot cheaper. So, I mean, I think just having that comparison on really, because it kind of seems like the products are very similar. And at our Midwest TechRecruit conference, LinkedIn sponsored, and they also hosted us at their Chicago headquarters, the pre-party, which was amazing. I was like, I'm next level. It was a really good time for me, but I asked them if they wouldn't mind doing a workshop on the differences on their products. And they're like, we're going to do a workshop on LinkedIn Insights, our new product that's trying to like kill MZ and Talent Neuron and compete with those. But at the same time, they have bought so many tickets to the upcoming Talent Congress, not to segue into that, but the Talent Congress conference on October 20th through the 22nd. I feel like they're sponsoring me all over again with how many LinkedIn people are wanting to come learn from our speakers. I'm like, okay, awesome. But as we're closing the show, and if you want to hear more about that, talentcongress.com, get your tickets now, and also hear about the next shows that are coming up. Gentlemen, thank you so much for all these resources. We'll have this show posted on our YouTube channel. Brian, as we close, do you mind just unsharing your screen so we could all group together? And for all those who want to see this show again, you can go to our YouTube channel, search for TechRecruit on the YouTube channel. You'll find this show and all of our previous show, as well as the Talent Analytics show, which is every Wednesday at 10 a.m. And we'll see you guys back here next Tuesday. And gentlemen, Jonathan and Brian, if anybody wants to get hold of you, if they have any questions, how can they do that?
You can reach me. You can reach me on LinkedIn. You can reach me on Facebook. Facebook is the best way to reach me. Like, I'm on Messenger all day long. Like, I hate Twitter because Twitter's a cesspool. I'm really trying to get off of Twitter, but like, it is what it is. Yeah, just reach out to me on LinkedIn or on Facebook, and I will get back to you in a hurry.
Cool. And I just want to say, one of my favorite tips I think I ever heard from you in sourcing was on Amazon.com. If you're looking for an engineer, and I think you said, look for engineering books and see people who've made comments on that. Was such a great tip. Jonathan, for you, if anybody would like to get hold of you, how can they do that?
Check out my website, wizardsourcer.com, or connect with me on LinkedIn.
Awesome. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Everybody have a wonderful week. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Thank you, Stacy.